Hello, 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 hello. Here we are live. Continuation of the Tom Noble First Gen Garage channel. Let's see, let me pull this up. This on the YouTube side here. We're live. Let's see what's going on. They have it up here twice. So I have to click on myself here. Yep, I see my ugly face on the. So we're live. Hello, hello. Top First Gen, yay. Guess we need a link. Let's get a link. I don't know how to do this. I want to invite people. Let's see what we got here. I don't want to comment. Is there an invite? Invite. Okay, invite. We'll see what happens. I expect Anthony to pop up, but I don't have a way to send him the link. That's something. Technology. There you go. You hit a few buttons. .407, just 7 short minutes past Tom Noble. He's a good teacher. Never done a on the spot, on the moment live feed. Don't know if anybody's watching. Anybody watching? What do I got? Share. And I don't want to analyze. Let's see. Analyze. Anthony, where are you? We were going to do a show. We were going so strong. Out there in YouTube land. Hello, 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 hello. Let's see who the next victim is here. Hazy, come on up. The link's in the chat. Are you in the bed? Are you tidying? Are you settling down for the night, my friend? You're just enjoying the air freshener, or is that still on the other side of the room? Figure out where all the buttons are. And guess who put the buttons there? I did. I did computers back in the Unix days, even before DOS was even thought about. I mean, these Windows, there was a time before Windows, and I'm sure there are people in this world that have never seen pizza. You lucky, you daggone. Did you order it, or is it homemade pizza? Just eating pizza. Somebody having pizza. You've had a long day, Hazy. You know how to get a hold of Anthony? We were going strong on Tom's show, and the consensus was to continue because Tom needed to go. Johnny Five, come on up, Johnny Five. Links. Yeah, busy day. Yeah, we were going strong with Tom Noble's show, and he had to go. He said, "Well, David, go ahead and continue it yourself." And I said, "Okay." Yeah, it all depends. Some of those frozen ones turn out pretty well. They turn out to be good pizzas. I know I've run into one here lately that was a really grocery store brand, but gosh, I mean, it tasted just like delivered. And it was only like $5 for this big pizza. I think that was just to get you into the store to get you shopping because they were all the way in the back. So you had to walk through all the other junk to get to the pizzas. They were back there by the milk. Okay. StreamYard's on the left, YouTube's on the right. Get that straight, David. Maybe it's because I'm live and I'm not on somebody else's show. Maybe that's why it seems reversed. Let me send Jimmy C a link. Pardon me, I'm the blind guy on the block. Let's see. Justin said he wasn't going to do any more Jimmy C and Friends. Let me put a link on there. UD Murphy. Now, UD Murphy's never accepted my daggone invite. Justin said he wasn't doing any more. Maybe Jimmy C will pick up on that. Probably doesn't get the notifications, or YouTube decided not to send them out. Come on, somebody's out there. know Iron Man and Drive Shaft Drew are out there somewhere. What is it, Friday? I know people aren't working. Oh, we got something.
Oh, we got something. Oh, what up?
Well, you just popped into Tom's right at the end. I didn't know if you wanted to just keep going or if you were just popping in to say hi.
I was just, I was just going with it, man. I didn't even realize it was that far into his show, man. I was like, oh, it's Friday. Tom's live. The only reason I even knew he was live is because I happened to turn on my emails and see the invite. I was like, oh, well, I'll go see you.
Emails? You mean your Hangouts, right?
No, he sends me an invite in email.
I sent you one in Hangouts too.
Yeah.
No, that was Hazy. Hazy got his van. I don't know if you know anything about the van.
Yeah, his T4 POS.
He took it to the shop and it found out that his valves were bent. So
yeah, he needs a valve job, man. Come on.
I think that's all he needs. He'll be fine after that point.
It
sounds like they didn't find any damage in the pistons or anything. No damage or anything. But he said it would still be £1,500, which was their money. Now I had one done one time for $800, but it was a mechanic, just an independent mechanic. They weren't a shop or anything.
Well, a valve job not easy, that's for sure. Get to tear that.
Well, how many? It's a 5-cylinder. How many valves would be in there? Would there be?
There's at least 10.
There'd have to be 10 at least, unless he's
unless it's dual or something.
Got 4 valves on each cylinder or something like that.
Yeah. What up, Johnny 5?
Yeah, Johnny 5.
Yeah, that's what do they call them? It's an interference motor.
Yeah.
When it jumps time, your valves will break if and that's what happened. He jumped time.
And they'll break immediately.
Pretty much.
Whenever you get a new vehicle, the best thing to a pre-owned vehicle like he did, my knee-jerk instinct would be to take it to a mechanic and have him check all that out. At least change all the belts, change the oil in it. Transmission fluid, check the brakes out, but that's how he
was being hazy though.
Brakes.
He was being hazy. He was making it look pretty.
Well, he's probably listening to us because he's in the chat.
I know he's here, but was here. But yeah,
I mean, that would be my knee-jerk reaction would be to, okay, thanks. I'm going to need to get the brakes checked out, but while I have it in the shop, I'll go ahead and have the man check out all the belts and the hoses, make sure there's not any leaks. Maybe I ought to go ahead and change the oil,
Right. Well, yeah, you got to do all that stuff when you buy a car like that. Unless you're a poor man,
Unless it's sat, how long did it sit in the driveway and not be driven,
Right. But that's even beyond, man. I'd have looked into the motor. If you knew about, if he knew pre-hand that thing was an interference motor,
Come on, Dizzy. Accept my invite in Hangouts, please.
What?
Dizzy has yet to accept my invite in Hangouts.
Oh, in Hangouts? Oh,
It's
well.
still an invite not accepted or whatever. You know, do you have Anthony some hangouts?
Yeah, I got him on Hangout.
Send him a link.
Oh, well. Sure, I guess.
I've not gotten connected with him. He might be gone by now.
Probably. Who knows? Let me do this first. Well,
Captain's not going to be on much anymore.
yeah, I don't know. He mentioned to me he won't be around for a couple weeks, or he won't be on panel for a couple weeks. Is what he told me.
He said he'd do Tom's, but that would be the only one, you know. Man, this was kind of interesting, you know. I just did a non-impromptu live, you know, let's do a YouTube. I slapped it together in a minute. So I guess I'm an old pro now. I'll put the headphones on, and if it gets real all confusing, I did get a pair of headphones just for you. They work. It helps. You can hear what's going on.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
sounds
it makes
almost like one person's talking to you in one headphone and the other person's talking in the other, and you can kind of, you know, distinguish.
Yep. And then you won't be able to talk to so many people all the time.
I know Johnny Five. If he gets up here, he'd be the life of the party. I'd like to get VW Nut on a live stream. I don't know how to do it. Maybe he just doesn't want to do it, you know.
Yeah, he's you know,
So laid back.
he's a little bit of a recluse.
Yeah.
You know? All right, though. What up, Johnny Five?
I'm surprised Johnny Five's not up, but it's probably late. Yeah, I know it's
yeah, it's 9 o'clock at night over there right now.
yeah. I know it's late.
That's not way late, but it's late enough.
Well, here we go.
What? Ooh.
It's kind of dead right now. Maybe it'll pick up. I'm going to try it for a little while. But,
Well,
you know, not being critical of Tom or anything. Like, there's got to be a happy medium here. You know, you just can't say, okay, my show's going to end at 6 o'clock. And
oh, sure you can.
shut it down, and that would be the end of it. But if you got a couple of people on there and we're having a talk and having a discussion, but I'll give him credit. He said he had something he had to do at 6 o'clock. And they totally, I don't disagree with that at all. If he had something he needed to do, he had to do it, you know.
Uh-huh. What, dog? You were just out. You were just out. Go to bed. I'm not eating nothing. Go see mama. No. I literally just
Hazy, I figured it was around 11 up there. I'm going to step away just for 1 second. I need to.
It's 11. Yeah, that's what I meant. Freaking.
I'll be right back.
What? 11:25. That's what I meant. Doc, you were just outside. What? What? Oh. Go see your mother. Go. Uh-huh.
Yeah, thanks. Just got 11:25 in the UK. Maybe now more like 11:30.
Yeah. Well, 25 still. You weren't gone that long.
Don't have anybody in the
His
basement.
clock is fast.
When does Dean Machine, wake up? Is he a day guy or a night man?
Oh, you never know with him. He's probably up and about already. Yeah, he's probably home from work by now too.
You want to send him a link? See if he wants to hang out. Dean Machine. I'll have contact with him. Maybe he'll sub my channel and then.
Well, I'm connected to him in like 5 different hangouts. Let me look and see what's going on.
I just couldn't stay up last night. I mean, I had been up since 4:00 yesterday morning. I have to get up to go to work. I have to be ready to leave to go to work at 5:30. We're finished with the project where I don't know. I don't do marijuana.
Yeah.
Vial of packaging for some vial of oil. But I guess you smoke. And it was a purple and white box. It was about twice the size of a pack of cigarettes. Put 2 packs of cigarettes together. Twice the thickness of like 1 pack of cigarettes. And I'm sure it was a little glass bottle. And if it got broken, you'd have all this oil of essence or something in there and it would be toxic. Pallet after pallet after pallet of that stuff went out. But somebody explained to me what it was, but it didn't make that much sense to me. I don't mean to act so dumb. I just don't do product, I don't do substances or anything except alcohol, which has gotten a little out of control. I'm working on trying to get the alcohol back under control. But I'm blaming COVID for that. So COVID is starting to lift up quite a bit. So my excuse is going away.
Uh-huh.
Friday evening would be a good time for a live stream.
No, it's not.
No. You would know.
Everybody streams on Friday. Yeah.
Just not subbed to them. I don't get notifications. Nah, Anthony is into something else right now, I would think.
Yeah, I sent him the link. So. And Dean's already in a room somewhere.
How late did you stay on last night?
Not too late at
Or how
all, really.
early?
Not bad at all. I called it early.
Oh, okay.
I called it early. I didn't stay up. I did not stay up that late. Let me go take a look.
I didn't look. It was on there, but I had about 5 different things going at that time.
Mm. What did I do? I did a 5-hour and 40-minute stream. So I didn't even do 6 hours.
No, well, I think 5 hours and 40 minutes is impressive.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a slow night.
It seemed like you had a slow start.
Yeah, it was a slow night, man. Simple as that. I mean, stayed that way all night.
How long was I on there? 30 minutes.
I'm not sure, but you were there for the beginning anyway.
I clicked on it right when I got the notification. I went right to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Not bad though.
Iron Man and some subscribers. I got Iron Man. I got Drive Shaft Drew. He's a real cool dude.
Yeah, Drive
You
Shaft
ever really
Drew.
get a chance to meet Drive Shaft Drew? You know.
Well, I didn't get to talk to him too much at the meet, but I did get to hang with him a little bit. You know?
Hey, Johnny Five, slightly relaxed. You must have smoked a bowl or something. He's out in the RV.
That's a high
Well, here we
possibility.
call it an RV. He calls it a caravan. I'm not making fun of the UK. I think the UK and the United States, we should all just be the same people.
We are all the same people.
Join each other, you know.
We are the same people.
Yeah, sure enough.
You know?
We just have different names for things, you know.
Because we live in different worlds, man. You know?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So somebody turn Johnny Five loose with 5 tubes of RTV. Let's want to see what.
Oh, he's sealing up his port.
Not 5.
Sealing it up tomorrow. That's pretty good looking for a bunch of hodgepodge parts there, J5. I'll give you that credit, man.
He's able to put it together there.
Yeah, making it look good. Yep. My channel is so stalled right now.
Yours is like, I'm having a little bit of the same problem. I'm getting ready to move. Once I get moved in, it'll be different. Things will be different, and I'll start putting content. I am planning on setting up a studio. My neighbor's an artist.
Yeah.
I mean, a well-known artist in the area. And we got a doctor. We have a doctor right across the way that just moved in. The maintenance people are going to live in this apartment. So when the toilet stops up or something like that, all I have to do is go down one floor, knock on the door, and say, "Hey, David, it won't go down." Call Brown. Code Brown.
Yeah. I've just hit kind of a lull, you know, freaking. I've been stalled on subs for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, freaking. Yeah, it's been about 3 weeks. watch times going down. Freaking, that's the first time I've really experienced something like that.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it is what it is. I had a I had a pretty good run, 2.5 years of nothing but growth. you know, I was bound to hit a lull somewhere.
you said Shando Galink. I sent him a link to the feed, but not to the live stream. He never comes up live for some reason.
Well,
He must not have a camera, or he must not, feel comfortable doing it, or whatever.
yeah, I think he's just not into that part of it, man.
Well, Jimmy, if there's any way I can help, I mean, I don't know how, but yeah, I'm sorry
Yeah.
to see that for you. I think the best thing for YouTube is just to get some content on there and just have a camera with you everywhere you go. And,
Yeah, I don't go nowhere
well,
though.
I
Yeah,
kind of like Hazy. Hazy came up with the idea with like the 60-second videos or the 1 minute videos. The people with the short attention span, just they'll watch a 60-minute video,
yeah,
or an update video.
yeah, but that don't accumulate to anything worth a damn.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know
Yeah,
what you do. I don't have the solution.
yeah,
What I
yeah.
mean?
That's all right. I don't have it either. I just playing it by ear. Winging it.
Oh gosh. Oh, it went away.
Surprised. I'm surprised I made it this far. You know what I mean? Come on.
You'll make it. How many subscribers do you have, Jimmy?
I'm at 1,800.
Okay, I only have 200
Yeah,
200 and change.
18 and I'm at 18 and change. So
I had more than 100 subscribers on the channel before I even had any content on it. But all those people were people Dizzy knew.
yeah, it's just from hanging out.
Early Dizzy days.
Yeah, that's from hanging out in the chat.
Well, see, that was even before the Hangouts. That was even before we streamed. I mean, all it was Dizzy and Tina. That's the only people that we saw, except for who might drop in,
Yeah. Uh huh. Like I said though, that's from hanging out in the live chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Doris had 70. She had 70 subs just from sitting beside me a couple nights. And like, she goes off on her own. She's already at 350, 360, something like that. Unfortunately, I think with her new job, her channel's going to stop growing because I don't think she's going to be doing content like she was.
Yeah, well, I've not had a life really. I go to work. I'm kind of in limbo about this move and about this renovation. I don't want to video any of the renovation because there's an owner that owns about half of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff probably doesn't meet codes. And I'm sure he wants a bunch of YouTube videos of
codes.
renovations he did that don't meet city codes. When you put something on the internet, it's on there forever.
Yeah.
And anybody could see it. And there's always that slight chance. So I've not videoed any of the project.
Code is pretty minimal. They're really, it really just describes the basics and the lowest acceptable construction grade.
Yeah.
It's like anyone that builds to code is building cheaply.
Yeah. Well, older construction is a whole lot better than the newer stuff because I'm watching They're building stuff around here like crazy. This place is growing like mad.
Yeah.
And newer buildings, they're not built to last more than 20 years. I mean, it's that board that has all the chips in it.
Yeah. Fiberboard. Yeah.
They just nail it over 2x4s, which aren't really 2x4s anymore.
Well, they're 2x4. Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
The dimensional lumber. So.
they put vinyl over top of that. And okay, yeah, the vinyl's durable, but how long do you expect vinyl to last? It's not going to
Well,
last.
that vinyl wrap that they put on the plywood is going to last a whole lot longer than the freaking the paper barrier they used to use.
Well, will it last as long as concrete or brick?
Well, concrete and brick are a different story, man. That's expensive building.
Yeah, well, they're building.
You understand?
They're renovating stuff in this neighborhood that is knob and tube. Some of these places were built 100 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And they're built out of brick, right?
Okay, let me change the format here.
Yeah. What up, Alex?
Hello, David.
Hey,
How's you?
I haven't seen you in quite a while. That's
I
great.
know.
I'm going to switch back and forth between I don't see well, so I got three
Yeah,
screens going.
well, Mr. I don't see well. Look back in the basement.
Is there somebody else? Okay, you hit escape. Go to the basement.
Yo.
Yo. Oh, we're okay. It's picking up.
I've got out of bed. I've got out of bed just to show you some love, David.
Oh, I'm so glad you came up. I'm waiting for Anthony to come back up. We got into a nice discussion, and then Tom put the hammer down. You know what it was? His wife walked through, and it was 15 minutes after his wife got home, but he probably had to get dinner together. He wanted to eat her dinner.
I'm just getting stuff together tomorrow. I've got a lot of woodworking stuff in this Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
I'm putting the insulation in tomorrow so I can get the walls panel.
Cool.
Cool. Excellent.
I'm enjoying it. It's keeping me busy, keeping me occupied.
That's the important thing. That'll keep you from going crazy.
To say it's such a small, it's not a big porch at all. The detail of having to do it all is, it's quite a lot to it, even though it's a small space. But I've managed to get 90% of it for free. So you can't go wrong there.
Side of the road.
Yeah.
You see the price of timber at the moment, it's worth to strip a pallet down.
Oh, yeah.
That's built out of 30-foot of fencing, 22 pallets, a board, and a bit of decking.
Right.
And then I've won a few eBay bids with them doors and windows.
I don't know. Pallets are going, what, $2 a piece here? They were like $1 a piece.
You get them free over here because a lot of companies have to pay somebody to take them away, so it's easier for them just to give them away. So.
Yeah, I remember the company I worked for was a small company. It was my dad's company. And they would have stuff delivered on pallets, and we'd put them on the back of a pickup truck and take them. We'd have to take them and find where somebody else threw pallets out.
Looking for that everywhere.
Because there are people that recycle pallets. There are people that actually.
I do it all the time. Yeah. All the time.
But we find out where somebody left a stack. We knew this company that recycled them or whatever, and we would just leave them. It was after the company was even closed.
Yeah.
We just leave them out on the road beside the company, and they'd pick them up.
It's very handy having a trailer now. Let's put it that way.
We threw them in the back of a pickup truck.
Fuck off, dog. Where's your mother? I got to deal with the mutt. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Well, take your time. No rush. Now, when you're doing a live show, you got to look at like 3 different screens, unless you can see well enough to have all of them on one screen.
Yeah, I'm on that one.
If you're on a phone, you're out of luck, aren't you?
I'm okay with stuff close up. It's stuff far away. I have to wear glasses.
I don't know how people can do them on a phone. I don't think you can.
I'm on the phone now.
Yeah, but you're not doing the stream. You're just on the stream.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not having to read the comments the people are making. You're not having to look in the basement, make sure that you haven't invited somebody up.
Yeah, like me.
Well, you just popped up. I don't know how Jimmy knew you were in the basement. He must have ESP.
I'd only just said I'm in the basement when he spotted me. So.
I've seen the comment. Sorry, in the private chat bit and StreamYards, is I've sort of went off this idea that, as in, like, you have the chat and then you have the StreamYards, and I'm having the last couple of months I've been having problems with taking the YouTube side of it and also having the StreamYard side of it. But if I just leave it with the StreamYard side of it, it's fine. But it's all right if I'm doing a live with my own. It's fine. That's what makes me go totally mind-boggling, because I'm like, well, what is that? Is it something like a settings thing or something that's causing that?
Do you mean it muffles the
Well, I'm
sound?
a believer in update and refresh.
I've done all that, buddy. I've done the Google Play Store. I've done the about section. I keep it right up to date. I think it's something to do with their either YouTube setup or StreamYard setup. It's still very sort of.
But it's over my head. You've just gone over my head.
It's sort of finicky, I think, as in it's still getting sort of updated all the time. I don't know if StreamYards is a new thing, because I remember when YouTube, it used to be the Google Hangouts, and then when Google Hangouts, the Google Hangout, I got told Google Hangouts still exist, but they just don't. You can't use it for doing live stream for the live part yet.
I still use it. I've been for all my tools, and I've basically just found them all in this bedroom.
Well, it's a lot of alternatives sprung up when that happened. We didn't know what was going to happen. Took it one day at a time. And then StreamYard's the one that popped up, and then you had Zoom. Some people use Zoom.
Yeah, when Jimmy's doing it, he needs a Zoom. We can't do it on a small. I know, can I? A lot of people want to come up on Jimmy's when he's on.
I'm getting hit with special offers now with that stream. I think it's Streamlabs or something. Streamlabs.
That's another one. Yeah, Streamlabs is another one of those.
I didn't use that stream.
Johnny, the only time I ever used it was somebody's donation thing, and then it ended up it was taking like $6.99 off me a month, and I'm like, why am I paying $6.99 a month? It wasn't even to the guy's channel. It was like a one-off donation, but it was like StreamYards as in like these additions or something that was on it, and they were like charging me for it, and I was like, well, why am I still paying for that? So I cancelled it, but after I cancelled it, StreamYard stopped sending emails. But the last couple of months, they've been sending me a special offer.
Oh, so when you got like the premium, and then when you canceled it, you couldn't go back to the basic or whatever.
No, David, it was like something. It was like a guy's. It was like some kind of. He's like a really big YouTuber. I can't mind his name, but as in his channel name. And it was like it was like for donations, and I was like, well, I just felt like we gave him a donation because I did like the guys as in content, and I put the money in, but it was like a one-off donation when you get to the channel, and then it was sort of taking it out, and I was like, why is this taking this still out? But it wasn't going to the actual channel itself.
Yeah, because you can actually join like channels as a member as well, can't you?
Oh, that's all over my head. Just gluing this, making this work. I'll get there someday, but I've heard
The
that
thing
that's
is,
a rip
Tony,
off.
right? If you're okay, it's all right having a membership to somebody's channel, right? But how many channels are you going to join up to? So end up as in how much money would you have to give each member per month if you joined all the different channels on YouTube?
It's not worth doing.
No,
Exactly.
I'm
I'm
charging
not doing that.
more so I can work with some tunes.
But a lot of them are pretty easy about it. You know, they're not trying to force you into being a member, but at the same time, you can't join every membership of every YouTube channel that you watch, you know.
Because I find this channel hard, as in subsidising it full of coins, but I'm not selling it. Do you know what I mean? I've not even started giving it away or whatever, because I'm trying to work out different ideas to make so that the channel grows, because the channel was never for the money side of it. It was, I seen something like on eBay that the fees for getting USA coins from eBay, and if you were in a different country, it was like, I think like $15 on top of the bidding price. And I thought, what if we had two communities that joined together, but it's a case of shipping it back and forward? And I was like, well, why can't there be one member or somebody that's in the UK that's everything's getting shipped to them, and then they're doing that side of it? And that was the whole idea, was to put two communities together so that they were benefiting, because I know there's a lot of coins that the USA guys want, as in from England, because there's a lot of coins being scattered, and they're wanting to do a lot of the history and then write it up and put it into, I think it's going into a book or something, or some kind of digitalized format, as in for all the history of the coins and all that carry on, and the valuations of the coins.
That's not missing. Charging up my headphones. These are Sony headphones. I've had these a few years, but they're really good headphones.
The battery holding up?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the USB charge ones. Yeah, I better get a good hour out of them.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. That's why I stopped using wireless.
They're just handy when you're doing like the DIY bit, because you ain't got the wire to snag yourself on.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I've just been getting all my tools out of here and putting them into Allway to take downstairs, because I've been looking for some bits and bobs that I found. A flick knife, like a little Stanley knife, that always comes in handy.
Oh yeah. A screwdriver.
I keep looking at that picture and I think, I recognise that picture, but I just can't think of who it is that Jimmy C's got up there.
Oh, what's he called? Lone Star.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. I remembered somebody's name. Woo! Getting there.
No, because I've seen David up there, and I was like, and I wonder if it's wise enough to join our stream. And I thought, I haven't seen David for a long time, because I remember him when he was about with David Johnson and Go Fishing.
David Johnson. Yeah, the Small Engine Nation.
That's that. I was trying to think, David, back 2 years ago.
Oh, I don't know. We just have fallen out of touch. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that whole small engine thing fell apart, and a lot of those guys aren't even on YouTube anymore. You know?
No, Jimmy, they're still there. They've just went into.
So what about David Johnson? What do you know about him? I could get him up here. I got his.
Craig's actually telling me, because Craig actually does the coins. Craig is in with us lot, as in with coins, and Captain Kirk's kicking about with the ladies of the round table. There's a lot of them that's into other communities. Just
Like Captain hangs with me almost every night, dude.
I know, Jimmy.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and he's been on all of the few live streams I've done. He's carried them all the way through the whole
Yep.
stream. But he said he was going to take a break. He was going to not do them for a couple of weeks. He said he had some things he needed to do.
yeah.
Brandon's as in down with Brandon still kicks about. Because Brandon was part of it. Was part of that too. Brandon.
Yeah. Yep. He's finally growing a little bit over there. Yeah.
Hey, you know that for some reason, part 5 of my porch bill got 2,600 views.
Whatever. That's nice.
I have no idea why it's part 5. It's must because it's coming along a bit now.
What's the difference between the thumbnails in each one of them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Recreate whatever that one did. You know what I mean? However you wrote it, however you made it look, freaking.
Pretty strong,
yeah. Maybe it was just the stained glasses windows that people want to look at. You know?
No, because I didn't put them until part 6. I'm on part 7 now, but the installation is going to be part 8 tomorrow. I'm working on it. I'm sealing all the sealant to seal it between the walls and the timber and everything. So I'm sorting it all up. The windows, everything. I've got all the different sealants to do it all.
Yeah.
Then I'm picking up a load of insulation tomorrow. I've got 50% of it already, but I've just got some massive sheets.
Yeah.
I'll finish ceiling and floor, walls.
Yeah.
And then I've got the laminate flooring, I've got the skirting boards, I've got everything, more or less. I'm just waiting on some more insulation, but I've got like massive sheets for like quarter of the door. I should pay no. So.
And I was just give you a little heads up. I was I watch a lot of YouTube related content on like how to do better. You know what I mean? And one of them is to not name your episode, not number your episodes. So your part 8, all that, that doesn't help because people won't click on it because they don't want to watch the other 8 episodes. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean. Yeah. So what?
Some really somebody dedicated to your channel, and they want to watch every minute of what you ever do.
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
But that's not who you're going after. You know what I mean? When you're writing thumbnails.
Part 7 makes you people look because it does look really good now.
Just name it like new addition to the porch or the right wing, or something.
Yeah. I've got rid of the puddling now. Anyway, I've fitted the gutter in today.
Yeah, you're already 8 episodes into this thing, so you might as well keep it at it. But the next time you do a project, don't number it.
I've seen to put all the materials together so cheap or free, and then I've won some great stuff on eBay. It's all come together really good. So I'm enjoying it. It's coming out really good. To see the size of it, it's going to transfer. I mean, the back of my house gets drafty as hell with the back door.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be so insulated. I probably won't even need that door on.
Solve that problem, huh?
The insulation is that thick I'm putting in it. Top to bottom, wall ceiling, everything.
Well, nice.
Fully insulated.
That's a proper mud room.
Yeah. My mum's seen it, right? She said, "What, you building a porch or a small church?" The glass in it is leaded with it's gold plated, leaded, all in swirls like that. Oh, it's beautiful. It was the guy who made the door and the window because it has the same panel in the door, same design. He does church renovations and that. He actually builds the doors and new jaws, new windows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So apparently the door was about £800 and the window was £500.
Yeah, no, it was too heavy for a door.
Yeah, and I paid 35 English pounds for both.
Oh, it's the money and not the weight.
So
It's,
about $28 or something.
Mhm.
that's what happens.
Oh, it caught, yeah.
Doors, mahogany.
See, when
Seriously.
they're doing this work on this property, I find stuff they throw away that.
I got the hinges with the ball bearings in them. Big, massive
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
door hinges I put on it. The bearing ones.
Yeah.
The door.
Mhm.
And I made sure all beams were fully bolted to the wall before I fastened that up. It'd have pulled it over.
Yeah, it's an expensive door. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It's expensive. I think $800 for a door.
Now, was that an existing roof that was already there?
No, I built the whole thing.
Uh,
There was nothing there. You just stepped out into the back garden. There were no
yeah.
nothing at all. All there was concrete base, a foot thick.
Yeah.
And it's just under 5 foot wide and it's 6'5" long. And I built exactly that shape, boom, straight onto the top of it.
Right. Cool.
And it's all it's got 20-foot roof, 2 roof beam. It's all in it. That's the frame of it. And the rest is all pallets and fencing and everything. I've spent hours sat there denailing and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sanding it all down, but it's been worth it. The fencing was a lot easier because it was all exact same lengths.
Yeah. Right.
And it's been nailed on. Do you know, like the pallets? It's like a twisty nail.
Uh huh.
It's a bugger to get out. Well, with the
They are
normal,
a bugger to get out of there.
the normal
Just
picket
cut 'em
fence,
out.
they'd only put panel pins in about that thick.
Yeah.
So they just popped off easy. They were easy. I got 40 foot of fencing,
Mhm.
4 foot high. Picket fencing.
I remember when I was a kid, we built forts out of pallets. We had
Threw it up
take
and
them all apart.
the road and then into my trailer and then away.
Yeah.
Filled the trailer right up. It's an 8x4 trailer and it was like it piled up like that.
Yeah. We built forts out of whatever the hell we could gather.
Well,
Well,
for us, it was pallets because there was a big, there was a car, there was a automobile parts that were imported from, there was a depot for all the parts that were imported from Japan for one of
Yeah.
some car manufacturers.
Right. So that was probably all hardwood pallets too.
Oh, there was oak, like
Yeah.
mahogany and oak and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I'm using is hardwood and pine.
Yeah.
We figured out ways to build fences out of those.
I've actually had some like pieces of cherry wood come out of some of the pallet.
Uh huh.
It's a not fine grade furniture grade cherry, but it's cherry.
You can tell as you
You made good firewood.
Well,
when you put it
We
through
would cut those up and burn those
a bit.
yeah. Yeah. We never had a lot of pallets laying around, but we always had construction debris. Freaking.
Well, all the skirting boards, all the laminate flooring, I've even got some proper oak flooring with like plywood back into it.
Mhm.
All that's free. I've got a pile of it in the living room and a pile of it in. I've got brand new skirting that thick, yeah.
Mhm.
Laid on steps, yeah, and then from top to bottom of stairs to top of stairs are that long.
Yeah.
And I'm only doing a 6x4 room, so even some of the offcuts are big enough to do most of it. That's what I mean. A lot of people are having renovations at the moment. So what they do is they don't want the waste. They don't want the extra stuff that's left behind.
Well, I see the waste that
They want it gone, though. So I say I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
this was 40 years ago, but I've watched them build some condominiums and let's say they needed a 2x4. They would cut. Let's say they needed a piece of a 2x4 that was 5 feet long. They would go ahead and cut the 3-foot piece off of an 8-foot 2x4 and just throw it away. Just throw it in the rubbish pile.
seen that. I've seen going past construction sites. You just see all wood sticking out of skips, and you think, what a waste.
Mhm.
You know, you're going to need a 3-foot 2x4 somewhere, or
See, Maria,
something close to that. And it's like, oh, why'd you cut an 8-foot 2x4, got 5-foot section out of an 8-foot 2x4, and just throw the other 3 feet away? Don't you have a pile where you can put short?
Well,
in
that's what he
2x4s?
did.
And
That's what he did.
What is it when it's a construction site? They're
That's
not paying for the materials, are they? They're
yeah,
just
Right.
well,
Yeah.
they
the con-
actually threw the stuff in the trash.
Hold on though. The contractor there he's not being paid to be efficient with the lumber. He's being paid to get the fucking job done, you know?
quick. Yeah.
They
And
got it done, but they wasted a whole lot of lumber.
no, you
Time
don't understand though. It's not that's not waste. It's all time. It's time.
It's all on time. Time is
They're getting paid by the job, not by the board, you know?
yeah.
And if they're there 2 days, they're there a day too long, you know?
I like
Yeah.
my ex used to say time is money. According to Dime, because her dad was a carpenter. Time is money.
Week.
Yeah.
Think of that
You
bill.
know, what do
But
you want him to do?
If you're like Johnny and you're doing a project at home, let's
That's-
say you're
that's
just building
different.
one room on your house or something like that, you could
That's
go by
different.
these construction sites and pick up this crap for free.
I
You can
bought
get everything you need.
90
Yeah.
It's free. What I've done.
Yeah, you could definitely do that because you're doing it on your time.
Yeah.
You're not doing it on you know
See, for
on
me,
somebody's
man,
wallet, you know?
me to sit down and strip the pallets because then I don't
Yeah.
have to lay of timber.
Right.
That's hard work. I've
But
done it. I've stripped pallets.
Who does it for a living? They ain't got time
Yeah.
to strip.
No. No, and it's like think about what you're a framer. Your job is to frame this house out. And you should frame that first floor. You should be able to frame one floor of a house in a day.
Oh yeah.
You got a half decent crew. You should be able to frame that in a day. I'm talking, you know, the
Like-
exterior wall, interior wall. Yeah, freaking, and you know, he walks up to a pile of 2x4s. If he needs 5 feet of a 2x4, he grabs one from the pile, you know, of 2x4s that are nice and neat. Boom. Why? Because you know it's long enough. You're not going over to a pile. Oh, is this one good? Is that one good?
Yeah.
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 You know, you don't have
Yeah.
time for that. You know,
Especially if it's not anything like mass construction, like
that's like electricians. Electricians are the biggest wasters of
Oh,
wire.
I have watched them work here in this building. They ran Romex, you know, like
Yeah,
for the main panels.
Yeah.
Put 5 big main panels.
right. And everything
And they
sticks
have
out of
thrown away.
everything sticks out of every box they do a foot and a half until
And
they
they
wire it
go
up
I have
Why?
seen-
because they have plenty of room to work. Okay.
I have seen them
Mhm.
run Romex cable. Now, I'm not talking about indoor cable. This is like cable big enough to carry 125 amps. And I've seen them do a run of, they did it right here in my bedroom. I came home
Yeah.
from work and I found this whole big mess that they made in there. And it's
Yeah.
like they used 10 feet, a piece of cable 10 feet longer than they needed to use. And there was cable wrapped up around the wall. You know that was waste cable. You know they threw that piece of cable away because you got a point. Electricians seem to be more wasted
Yeah.
than anybody.
Yeah, but they have to. They have to be because it makes the job.
They get paid by the hour to do that. You know.
Yeah, exactly. They get paid by the hour. All right, and or by the job, one way or the other, right? And the longer they're there, the more it costs them. So,
See,
you know, that's right. And
they make a mistake of making one of the cables. not
right,
long.
you make it. They make everything way too long.
They
That
did,
way there,
they did make
That way
mistakes.
there. There's always enough room to do the fucking job.
It's
They
Yeah.
did make mistakes because I see where they spliced cables together where they had a cable that wasn't long enough.
Well, no,
So they made a whole bunch of extra work for themselves because it wasn't planned out just the right thing. And I've seen them come in here and have to do work over because they had the wrong lines going to the wrong apartment.
Well, that happens because someone wasn't reading papers right. You know.
Oh, it's one of the most complicated things you've probably ever seen in your life. This mess.
Yeah, trying to wire a building, it's not easy.
They wired the whole building, and they've routed wires to places in the building that they didn't need to be routed to, and they've had to reroute wiring. Yeah, I've seen
It happened.
They might have been paid by the hour.
They weren't paying attention. They weren't reading the papers.
Well, these people were
Yeah.
like paid by the day. You know, they were given a job and they said, okay, you need to get this job done on this day. But
Yeah,
they could come back and correct the mistakes they made anyway. It's the same people.
yeah.
No.
But they call it a first fix and a second fix, don't they? They're just
Well, some of them are honest mistakes because those people were here for one day and they had the power turned off and they had to do it all in the interval of time that they had the power turned off where they could turn it back on. So I'm not being critical of them, but you know, I saw 10 feet long. Now I don't know if they took them back or not and saved them, but they ran 10 feet more wire than they needed to run. You know,
Yeah.
some runs. And this is like wire. This is not like 14.
Yeah. You're talking
This
number
is like-
6.
Like 2-aught. You know,
Yeah, you're talking 6-gauge wire, more than likely.
bigger than
Yeah.
that because the 6-gauge wire looked like the little thin stuff compared to what
What?
6-gauge is like what your range is connected.
Yeah, there ain't nothing thin about that.
Well, you come and look at this stuff, and in fact, I'll take a video of what they did here, and you can see how thick these wires are.
Yeah, it's your main power line.
There's 500 amps coming into this one.
Yeah, that's their main power, dude. That's
and they
fucking-
split that to 5 different circuits. It's 125 amps per circuit.
yeah.
And those
Yeah.
wires are at least an inch in diameter, if not more. They're as big around as the neck of a beer bottle. That's how big those wires are.
Yeah, those are huge wires.
Yeah, the mains core here.
But that might also be that electrician might also be hoarding copper.
It's aluminum.
We have a copper earth, a red and a black. House wiring.
Probably
It's
not.
aluminum.
Probably
No,
not.
I was here when the inspector came. The inspector inspected it, and most of the wiring was aluminum in it.
Oh, that's probably Chinesium then.
And then he said to the inspector, "You can't be too careful with aluminum." It passed the inspection. I was just back here in the living room listening to them talk.
They don't use.
Yeah, 75% of what they did was aluminum wiring. The only thing that's copper, well, at least where I live, the only thing that's copper is the lines that are wired within your house, from your outlets. But once it comes out of your panel, the main panel coming into your house, it's copper. But when you get to the transmission line coming into the house, it's aluminum.
Oh fuck! Not in my house.
They've run that all over the place here.
Not in my house, man. That's fat ass fucking copper.
Well, your house is 100 years old.
This one's 200. My other house was 200 years old.
Yeah.
But I ran that line in my other house.
Jeez.
And it fucking copper, dude. That shit was expensive.
Yes, sir. Copper costs you money.
No, that wire was expensive. It was like freaking.
There's a wall built this estate.
When did you run it?
When? Oh, Jesus! Back in 2004
Yeah, well,
or
they were
5.
using copper back in those days. They were not using copper anymore.
Yeah, fuck
Nobody
yeah.
wants to go to the expense of doing that. Well, I remember them talking about it. They were all over the place. They had like
It was pricey, but it cost me a lot extra to do it, but I moved the panel to a much better place, and it was well worth it. It was freaking, I went down, you get to the basement and it was 2 feet from the staircase. So instead of in the other room, yeah. So it was well worth moving it. I was rewiring the entire house anyway, so yeah.
I remember I remember somebody that had a hot tub put in, and they put the hot tub in their backyard, and they built a deck and everything. It was real beautiful. They did a nice
Yeah.
job. But they had a panel. Now where I live, they put the breaker panels on the outside of the house, and the panel,
like
for them to build the hot tub.
You mean like a main shut off or?
Yeah, well, in order for them to build the hot tub, they had to move that. So they couldn't have electricity too close to the hot tub.
Yeah,
So they had to move all of that expensive main service line coming into the house, all to a different location. So in order for them to install that, and it was a wife that did it as a gift for her husband. And her husband was supposed to be surprised by it when he got home.
Yeah, he was surprised by the bill.
That, I don't think money was a problem for them, but he was in the coast. Long story, but he would go to work and be gone for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
He had time for this whole project to be done. Well, they had to move their service coming into their house 10 feet because they did not want 240 volts, 500 amps, or whatever near their hot tub.
Yeah.
That would not be a good combination. Electricity and water don't mix very well. And she had that all done. But I don't think there was any issue with money in that family. He made good money, and he was retired.
Well, yeah.
You're pissing about with hot tubs, you're all right for yourself. I've got an old Swiss knife in. I'm just trying to get it to come open. I haven't used it in years. It's all bloody. The medical one.
Drop a little oil on it.
Yeah, I'm just opening it up a bit.
We used to call it. Do they make 3-in-1 oil anymore?
Yep, they do. I'd use Marvel
Mystery Oil.
That's what I would be using for such a task. I just bought a couple antique oil cans just so I could have an oil can to put the Marvel in. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I have one of those. It has a trigger on it, and the oil squirts out of it.
Yeah, I got one of them, and I got one of the ones that has the bobber on the bottom. The tin. You pump the tin.
The one that, like on the Tin Man and the Wizard.
Yeah.
Well, I found it in the recycle bin.
He porked me on that one. There's a hole in the funnel, but
it's got a bottle opener, a spike, scissors, screwdriver, and then a bladed knife, and a bottle opener on that side.
Well, not to be cliche, but it'll amaze you what people throw in the recycle bin is something. I don't think they know what it is. They throw something like that away.
What? It's just a cheap knife, man.
Well, no, I mean they throw the oil can away.
Oh well.
I don't know where it is. It's packed up, but I'll show you the oil can someday. It's got a nozzle on the outside of it, and you put the oil in it, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I used to clean my hair clipper things, beard oil.
Wonder if I can bring up the ones I got on eBay.
I think that's the I think the ones are about 1950s, 1960s. The one that's like metal and then it's got like a wee. But a lot of the engineering companies used to keep them because they used to use them for the machines themselves, like the big lathes and all that.
This is a medical Swiss Army knife, a proper one though. It's a little medical one. And I've got a tiny, tiny one, but it's still a proper little Swissy one, look.
I know that label, Johnny. As in this you're right, it's Swiss Army knife. I think the maker on it, or they're made in Switzerland.
Yeah.
They're about 15. The little one that you've got there is about £12. and that big one's starts about around about the 18 to 20 to about 24, 25 pound. But some of them are as further you go up with them, as the value goes up.
This from my granddad's. It's made of Bakelite, the plastic of it. Reminds me of them old phones, this plastic.
My man used to mess about with radios, Hacker Heralds and all that car on. Some of the stuff used to bring in, Jesus Christ, you'd be like, that's back in the 60s, Dad. And he's like, do you know what that is, son? And you're like looking at it and you go, you're looking at the outside of it. And I was like, and that's when I realised, and he's like, do you know that's Bakelite? I'm like, is it? Because Ashley used to have a guy that used to come to him as an even broken ones and take them away. Ashley.
They were the first type of plastic, really, wasn't it, Bakelite?
Yeah, Bakelite was one of the early, that and cellulose. There was two of them. There was one that
tiny one, even has little.
They made the first plastic was the plastic they made billiard balls out of.
And then
that was
a toothpick in the end of that one.
No, Bakelite's basically some kind of powder treated with formaldehyde. It's poison.
When David said cellulose there, it put me in mind of cellulose.
Bakelite will give you cancer.
It put me in mind of cellulose paint. Cellulose paint. They used to use that for cars. Cellulose paint. But it's not
highly flammable. That's the only problem with it. If it ever catches on fire, it like implodes on itself. It has its own. There's YouTube videos of celluloid burning. It doesn't even need oxygen. It'll burn underwater.
Yeah.
You think I'm kidding? It will.
And then you're putting it to your head to say hello to somebody.
Yeah, well, I got it. Big old ball.
The reason why you took cellulose away because of the chemicals that was actually in it. They stopped doing it for as in spray painting, as in cellulose and 2-pack. Now it's all water-based. It's all water-based. It was under an infrared. It's like an infrared light. There's a guy that my dad used to work for. I sometimes go down to his workshop, and the last time I was in there, I was looking at some of the stuff that is now on the market, as in for when you do spray painting. And I noticed it, and I thought, that's infrared lights. That's what that is. It's like it looks like a big heat lamp, but it's actually red. But they're like on a sort of stand thing. That's basically basically dry it because water-based takes a long time to dry.
Right, I'm calling it a night, guys, because I'm cream crackered.
All righty, man.
All righty.
Catch you later.
Thank you, Johnny. It is getting late.
It's 20 past 12 here.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you.
Good night, Cinderella.
I had to pop back on and say hello, mate. So
thank you, mate.
See you later.
I thought the show was going to go on. We had Anthony on there, and then I don't know what happened to Anthony because he popped on there last 10 minutes, last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was me.
You know, YouTube isn't everything. When you've got to go, aren't you?
So,
yeah, you got
Johnny wasn't on there very long before you got on there.
Right, I'll catch you all
I
later.
mean,
Alex,
Anthony.
Hi, Johnny.
Later, Johnny.
Later.
Man. Finding every other kind of oiler. Like, what? Come on, man.
While you're looking, let me go see if I packed that oil can or not, or if I still have it.
I don't know.
I know.
How you been doing, Alex?
Not too bad. I'm trying to think of ideas to actually to make the channel grow further. I sort of hit a point and I'm like, where do I go for here? And I'm sort of stuck. I've sort of stuck in a rut. I've got to a certain bit and I'm like stuck in a rut. And I'm like, how far do I actually go with this? But because USA coins it's like UK, you're trying to start something that maybe has been done before, but didn't work out. But you've just not realised that it didn't work out. So you're trying to come up with something different, as in to everybody else. But to try and to evolve that's the hard part for it to take off.
Well, sometimes you just got to stick at what you're doing, just doing it differently, you know. Sometimes, you know, but it's never, you know, like everybody doesn't have can't have the same results. You know what I mean?
Because I was listening to a big flip the other day, and he was saying about these flat pack envelopes, and I was like, I never actually thought about that, because I'm trying to do is, if I'm sending stuff back to the USA, it's costing me more as in sending it back internationally tracked, because I usually send it internationally tracked, Jimmy, which I looked, it's sort of like £20 here, so it's like that's £30 that's $30 USA, and I'm like, nobody's gonna, if I'm gonna put out coins and for people to buy coins off of me to go back to USA or different countries, they're not going to pay that kind of money, as in just on shipping alone. So I'm coming up with other ideas how to get this shipping cost down to a bare minimum. But what I'm thinking is I'm going to test the water, Jimmy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do like some free coins like GAWs, and then put it to different countries and see what it see what it turns out is, and then I'll get a rough idea. Because everybody's like, and everybody's turning and says to me, as even like George found it, but he's like, when is this auction, Alec? When are you going to put this auction on? And he's like, I'll shout you out. But I'm like, just give me, do you know what I mean? Just give me time to organise it, because I'm trying to figure out how I can cut the shipping cost down so to make it feasible. Because I don't want it expensive, Jimmy, because that wasn't the whole idea. It was to get the monetization part and but I don't ask for donations. What I was hoping is when I get to the monetization stage, have the PayPal set up and the super chats. And what I do is once they get to a certain amount, as in whoever the person is, then get their email details off them and their address and send them back coins. Because I felt as if when I'm going to these auctions on YouTube, as in the USA community, I feel as if all I'm doing is taking out the community. I'm not actually putting something back into it, and I feel bad. I feel bad about it.
Well, I don't know. What up, country living homestead? Hello. I hope we didn't. Yeah. How long you been here? Oh, okay, you still here?
Just a minute. Just a second. I caught it.
Yeah. No, I didn't fall asleep. I was multitasking. Is the way to put it. Oh, but my shaking butt fell asleep though, huh? That's not good.
Oh, what, this morning or just now? Because I was out there trying to find an oil can, which I packed, I think, because I can't find it.
Well, I'll just try to show you. I'm just trying to find a picture that really represents one of the ones that I bought.
Well,
the first one was easy, but the second one is proven to be, a little more. Because I get some, they're similar, but they're just like completely.
I remember the little the one.
I got one of them, and let me just show you something that's similar to what I'm. freaking, because it's big. Yeah.
I sort of got a picture of it in my head, Jimmy. When you started explaining it, I'm thinking about a picture in my head of how it would look. And I watch a lot of the guys who do as an engineering work, because I'm right into it, as in when
Wrong one, dude.
partner that car on, and I tend to watch.
So you want to show us the oil can?
Click the picture.
Huh?
There's a picture down there. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Right. Basically, this big one. I got something like that. It doesn't have a flex hose on it.
That's the one I have.
Yeah, it doesn't. Mine doesn't have a flex hose.
Thing.
And then I got one of these, a bigger one of those, with a curved. It had a curved thing on it. But yeah,
that's the same. One I got. It's interesting that you showed that because
what the best thing about it when they sent them, they left all the crud on them. It even had a cobweb on it and shit.
No, I found it in the crack. There wasn't a single spot.
Goodness, how long?
It was clean as a pin. I found it in the recycle bin and rescued that thing. I don't know if they thought it was just an old can or something.
Whatever. They just it's an old oil can. People are like, oh, we buy spray cans now. And I'm like,
yeah, well,
we don't use cans. I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm sick of those cans, and PB Blaster's expensive. You use way more of it than you need. So why don't I just get an oil can? Besides, I got an old, I got a shop now set up. So I was like, I need an oil can.
Oh,
and I want an old one, So I went and bought 2 old ones for like $12.
My man hated that, and he didn't mind using a spray can, as in for when he was painting things, but he was always a bugger for saying that the tip or the actual way you spray it out would clog up. My old man used to hate that. Used to drive him crazy. But anyway, as in to clean it out, you had to put it into warm water, and it would
stop using used motor oil. That's what my father used to keep in his oil cans, used motor oil.
Oh my goodness, my dad was cheap, but he didn't do that.
Hey, you only oil hinges on doors and crap, stuff like that with it, and it actually is pretty brilliant. But nowadays, it's way easy to dispose of oil, So
well, at least it's recyclable anyway. So.
Yeah, but it's way easy to do it properly now, Those an oil pan that you put a lid on is cheap, it's like $5, $10, So when you do oil changes,
yeah.
Those things easy.
It's like I remember my dad digging a hole in the backyard and pouring oil in it and covering it back up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of the environment he was damaging by pouring 5 gallons of oil down in a hole, or 5 quarts anyway. So that's what the car, when he was changing oil in the car.
Do you know you can actually strain used motor oil, as in with actual mutton cloth. Actual mutton cloth, and use it like a strainer, put it on top, etch it over, as in we put an elastic band around it, and then basically put it through it, and it'll strain it. It'll actually strain it. It'll catch all the debris that's actually in it.
Yeah, they do that. They call it second gen oil. They recycle oil. They what do they call that? The oil. They take old oil and recycle it and make new oil out of it.
Yeah,
they do that, and that's just how they do it. They filter it all out, and they get
that's how you end up with your synthetics.
My dad actually done it one day, Jimmy.
You blend.
Done it with paint, strained it with paint. I was standing there watching him, and I was totally gobsmacked with him actually doing it, because I couldn't understand why he was doing it for in the first place. But then when I sort of realised, because the primer had went thick, because obviously it'd been laying so long, he was actually straining it through. We're putting cellulose thinners through it to basically strain it so it would go thin, so it would end up going thinner. And that's what he used. He used the mutton cloth we used to use for cleaning, as in cleaning cars when we were dusting them down and all that car on or polishing them.
Yeah.
I sort of remember, and then all of a sudden, when you were talking about used oil, it sort of brought it back. That's what I'm saying. I wished I had done, when I was working with my dad, I wished I'd have done as in video footage, because there's a lot of things that I saw him do or whatever in the garage that you would be amazed about. But me speaking about it, I can only speak about it and hope that people actually think we'd say, well, he's not a liar. Because some people, if you've not got any proof, they would actually call you a barefaced liar. There's no way you can do that. And they would stand there as in brazen his brass is bold and turn around and say, no, that can't be done. That's impossible. There's no way you saw that getting done. I worked with him since I was about 13. I worked with him till I was 13 until I was 27. So I worked in backstreet garages for so long part of my life, as in giving them a hand.
Oh, holy shit. Fucking Tony Squirrel just hit 10,000 subs and 2 million views.
Well done.
Right?
My oldest video for back for 2 years ago actually still gets views, and it was Grizz 270. It turned around and says one day, he says, why don't you do like a one-legged kick butt challenge at? And all I was doing was basically kicking the leg and then the hospital bed, because the hospital bed was down in the living room at the time. And that's what I'd done. And I put on the title Kick Butt Challenge. That video itself gets views all the time, but it only gets a couple of views at a time. It's been doing well ever since. I put that up 2 years ago, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, at least that, because that's about the third or fourth video or something that I've ever done. I noticed that a lot of the YouTubers are now doing what you call the shorts or something, and there's also one that's actually ticked for actually people to use parts of your video. It's like a shared permission or something, and it's actually ticked. But I don't know if that's actually in the settings as in YouTube itself, because Oz was explaining it the other day as in about actually unticking that so people can't use parts of your video as in for to use it for the shorts.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta get this, so hang on.
All right.
So I don't really Jimmy. I don't really keep up with YouTube, what's happening on YouTube and all that, Karen. Unless I actually see it or somebody start moaning about it, and then I start looking into what's sort of going on. I just sort of keep my own wee world. As long as I'm not bothering anybody, nobody's bothering me. I don't really I don't bother too much. Because it's not as if I went missing in YouTube. I like the auctions. I like buying coins for auctions. But then end up the room's becoming over full with it, and Mum's actually starting to complain about, as in the coins is starting to take over the whole, basically nearly the whole house, or the cupboard. There's the cupboard and the room. And then when I'm trying to come over from the bed to where the computer is, I'm sort of nearly falling over the top of the boxes. But I'm trying to sort of get it organised. But there's days where I just can't be bothered. I'm like, I just can't be bothered. I know that's not the attitude, but sometimes you just can't be, because you get into it's like a rut you get into, and you sort of get set in your ways, especially when you sort of get to the older age. You get to sort of 40, your 40s, sort of 40, 50, you're like, sort of thing, you want to sort of start slowing down with life, as in starting to take it easy, instead of going at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let this run till 8. I got like 20 till 8. And I was hoping it seemed to be okay. Seemed to be a success. But I was hoping Anthony would come right back up, because we were right in the middle of it. John and Tom just put the clamp down on it or something. And there's a lot to be said for that. Okay, you say you have a live stream and you say it's going to be for 2 hours, and then when the 2 hours are up, okay, you know, what are your opinions on that? I mean, I'm not that way. I like to be a little more flexible, but I don't like to go crazy with it, you know.
David, I could start a live stream as in like in the afternoon or sort of late-ish evening, and I can go in for 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. And the whole idea will be, I'll have the title saying mail call, and then I'll sort of take my time to get in it, because I'm like, well, there's no point in only one person seeing it. So I'll sort of start waiting until they sort of trickle in. But then all of a sudden, I'll totally go off topic, and I'll be talking to as in whatever's been said in the chat. But I always turn around and tell people they're more than welcome to come up with the panel, because all they have to do is ask, can I get the link for that? Because I don't mind.
Well, I just put the link I send out the links. I put the link in the description so they can just click on it and come up, you know.
No, because it's not fun, David, as in talking on your own, as in, because it's like talking to a brick wall. As in,
well, you can always. You're always welcome to come up on my streams if you want to. So we all need to talk. It helps us a whole lot to be able to talk, you know.
Right, it's good to bounce ideas off of people, or something that you're not sure about, or you've come up with an idea and you're like, how will this work? And then you're trying to think it out yourself, and you're like, it just doesn't make sense. Or you're not 100% sure about it, and you're like, how's this going to go down? And you're sort of asking somebody else's opinion, but you sort of got to watch on YouTube, because you might have an idea, and then all of a sudden you tell the idea out, and before you know it, before you've even organised it and got it ready, somebody else has taken that idea and used it.
Yeah.
You're trying to sort of keep back stuff. Because I try not to, when I'm doing, David, a lot of the stuff, I'm not trying to copy anybody or be one of the followers, as in the takes, as in like the rest of them. Like in the UK, they all do UK coin hunting, so they're all getting a bag for the bank or whatever, the £250 bag, and they're searching through it, and you see them going through it. I didn't want to be like that. I wanted something different. I wanted to be unusual on my stream. And it was the Americans that actually took me in. They accepted me as a brother. They never judged me. They didn't ask me a whole lot of questions and say, "Oh, we have to trust you," or "This carry on." Like UK, they're like, if they don't know you, they're like, "We have to trust you. We have to start to get to know you." So it takes you 6 months before even that happens, before you're even classed as one of them. But Americans didn't do that. And this is what totally baffled me. I was like, why? Do you know what I mean? It didn't make sense to me, but I was like, well, I feel as if I'm part of them. And that's why I started doing a lot of the USA coins. And now I do quite a lot of the USA currency. But when I first started doing it, it was to buy it, to resell it. And then because of how long I had it, 6 months later, I started taking out bits from my own collection. I'm like, I actually like that. I actually like this. And I started taking bits and pieces out. But I'm using a lot of it because, David, that I don't get out. So there's stuff that I can't do. So I was like, I wanted to bring content to the channel instead of having nothing, because I reached 400 as my Hazy Days New Dizzy, and I thank him for the bottom of my heart, because it was them that helped me get where I am, as in the 400. But when I got to the 400, it sort of fluctuated the numbers, and I noticed that the requirements of it wasn't because I wanted to be famous or whatever. The requirements of YouTube was to 1,000. I think it was like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watchers. The 4,000 watchers I'm not even there with yet. I'm not even at that part yet, but I've reached the 1K. But when I got to the 400 and I seen it fluctuate, that's when I was like, I need to go my own separate ways. I need to find something that I can do for this channel. I need to, if I'm going to use it properly, because I was frightened that YouTube or Google would end up closing the account, and I didn't want the account closed, because I was like, this is a way, because I've got 4 daughters, and it means then that my 4 daughters will see the content years later. As
You
for them,
you were monetized.
Did.
Yeah. It's a hobby for me. It's interesting that you could put something you're interested in up on YouTube, and it's very rewarding just to see that somebody else watched it and got a little something out.
Yeah.
I'm not in it to make money or anything. It's a hobby, you know. And it started with You Dizzy. I have to admit, You Dizzy started all of it. Actually, it was Musty One, and I found out through You Dizzy, through Musty One.
Yeah. Musty One's what brought me. Musty's what brought me to You Dizzy. You know, it's it's funny, you know, because being a New Englander, when I sat down in YouTube and started just poking around, you know, I was like, oh, what's there for car stuff, you know? And I happened to find a couple Ramsey's garage and
Anzi's Corner.
Yeah, AMZ, yeah, you know, and a few others, and I was like, oh wow, there's a whole bunch of these motherfuckers from New England. So I started watching a couple of them and stuck with Musty One because, you know, why not? And that led me to Brian, right? And I was watching Brian one day, and he was talking about.
Do you remember how Brian was so? I'm not going to say private, but he didn't open up until much later on, and I don't think he's quite opened up now.
Well, he's a bit of a recluse, but you know, Brian was talking about a snowblower You Dizzy had given him.
Oh,
right?
Man, every time I see that snowblower, I salivate because it's so much fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so much fun to use.
I would love driving something like that around, without a doubt.
I would too. I would just give
So
I would just love to have one of those old like a lawnmower built like
that. somewhere in that video, he mentions that U Dizzy is in Worcester, and I'm like, oh, another local boy. I'll go check him out. And it happened to be on a Saturday or Sunday. What Dizzy shows was Sunday, so it was a Sunday.
Well,
Right.
Sunday, I can't even remember when Disney.
Yeah. It was a Sunday, and you know, when I went looking for U Dizzy, his show was on, you know, and I was like, oh, let's check this out, and I just had a ball and get stuck there, you know.
Well, I got stuck there. I ended up getting on an airplane and flying up there. You know, that was so amazing. Because he said, "Oh, I'm going to have a party," you know, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be at that party. I'm going to get on that plane. I'm going to go." And
right? Why not? Right?
And I did it.
How I found everybody else was I started watching when I felt isolated as in at home, and I started watching Ian Matthews. And it was Ian Matthews that was shouting out.
Ian Matthews.
It fell out me. And then I found Hazy Days. And when I found Hazy Days, that led me to U Dizzy. And I started watching U Dizzy and Hazy Days. But then I started watching Musty One that. Because I'm a big fan of Musty One.
I knew Ian before I knew U Dizzy. Because Ian used to come by Ken's the Redneck Connections place. You know, he had already been coming over there, you know, so I knew him from over there. I didn't know he hung out with U Dizzy. It just made the loop connect, you know. Like,
it happened right after my wife died, and my life totally changed.
Yeah, right.
The first thing I remember.
That's how I ended up here. My life totally changed.
The first contact I remember, and this was 6 years ago, going on 7, was Musty One. Musty One was the gate that opened, was the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I found out about Brian. Like you, I found Brian. I found U Dizzy Dave. And then I started watching U Dizzy's live show. You said it was on Sunday. For some odd reason, I remember it being on Saturday. But
Hazy was Saturday. He was or Saturday, whatever it was.
Well, Disney was on Saturday and Hazy.
All right, whatever it was, you know. I just remember, because Hazy's was the after show.
But it doesn't matter really. That's long ago. That was the past. But when it happened isn't as important as knowing that it did happen.
But that's how it happened, you know. That's how I found them, you know. And it was freaking, and then it was funny because that's where I found Drive Shaft Drew again. Because Drew was my second subscriber, you know, so I already knew him, and I didn't know that he knew Musty One and you know, Brian and U Dizzy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I was in that live stream, and I think that was part of what, you know, made me stay there, because I was like, oh, Draft Drew's in here. He's my second subscriber, freaking, you know. So, you know, it gave me a reason to stick around more, you know.
Yeah, well, I thought Drive Shaft.
As in, there's a lot of ones that I actually support. I've got like 900 or over 1,000 dozen channels that I actually follow, and the list is getting as the supporters are coming in, the list is getting longer, because I tend to look in a video and see if I like anything that's of interest that I like, and then I usually end up hit the button, and I end up watching a lot of stuff. But what happens is if you go into something different, YouTube then doesn't give you the notifications as in what it's supposed to. The notifications don't seem to work properly for some apparent reason.
Well, you know, you gotta run down your list. You run down your sub list once in a while, you know, because if you click on your subscriber list and go all the way to the bottom of it and start your way up, and anything with a blue dot there they got new content, you know, that you haven't watched yet. It's that simple.
I didn't know that, Jimmy. That's interesting, you know. I just noticed that recently when you see the blue. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what the blue dot was for. Because I do that sometimes when I don't do live streams or when I'm not actually making videos. I tend to watch a lot of the YouTube stuff, but sometimes it's not always on the subscriber side or the supporters ones. Maybe something's that's caught my eye, and I'm like, I really want to watch that because I like a lot of stuff where somebody's stripping something and then rebuilding it. Like I watch a lot of the Pakistan. At the moment, I've been watching a lot of the Pakistani. It's called Pakistani trucks, where they're actually trucks. It's smashed. It's actually smashed, and they're actually taking body panels and cutting body panels out and all that carry on. As in watching them actually fixing it or taking a full truck apart and then rebuilding it from start to finish. Because I get a great enjoyment of watching that. Because
that's why I want.
For that, Jimmy, as in watching stuff like that, and then somebody will have a problem. You see somebody with a problem and on a comment or whatever, and then you can relate to it because you go, I watched that, but then you're trying to remember, where did I watch that? Where did I actually see that? As where the information is, because as Cab7 says, YouTube is like a big library. It's a library, but it's also got video footage. So you can actually, instead of reading it, because I can't do reading. I'm hopeless when it comes to reading or actual reading instructions. I'm quite good with as in video footage or whatever, as in photos, actual photos that I can actually see. That's what I work off for. But my memory, it takes a while for things to soak in my memory, and then when it sort of sticks there. I've got quite a good photographic memory.
Yeah.
Because I didn't just come to YouTube for as in to make money off it. That wasn't the whole idea. It was to help other people, as in to help people, and be, instead of me feeling isolated, me having friends, but a lot of the friends that I have built up or the people that I've got to know they're not actually in my area. They're actually further away from me. Like you've got like Ali Mack, he's in like Inverness. You've got like Ian Matthews, it's like he's in somewhere in England. It's like Johnny Five, he's in Yorkshire. Do you know what I mean? So it's not as if I can actually go and tap somebody's door and they're a YouTuber as well. It's actually in my area. Because that's what I want.
It's interesting to discover
collaborations with other channels.
It's interesting to discover that you, Dizzy, and everybody he knew, and Musty One, and all those were real people, and they were seemed to be real welcoming people. You know, it's.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, they all helped me do. You know, they all helped me stream and freaking.
See, that's the thing, David. It feels more like a family, as in YouTube. It's no what you know, it's who you know. And you're right, they are actually real people. They actually are real people, and the way that the way they are is astounding. As in, it's overwhelming, basically.
Yeah.
How friendly they actually are when you actually meet them in person. Because you only get a really feeling as in way watching their videos, especially if they don't live as in like on your doorstep. But instead of being like just saying they're acquaintance, they become family or a friend more than anything. But
believe me, they're real. They're real people. They're not some joke or anything. They're real people up there, you know. And yeah, it's a big part of my life. Watching what these people have done with their lives and done on YouTube. Folks, it's getting on to be 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna We've been on here for 2 hours, amazingly. I'm not going to be one of these jerks, you know. That
You don't want to be one of these
Tom's a
jerks
jerk. No way.
that shuts it off at 2 hours exactly.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
right at the minute. You know.
Sometimes you
I
just
know
gotta
you don't
do
do that, Jimmy.
what you gotta do. Oh, dude, trust me, I've done it. I've been bailing at the 6 hour mark pretty regular or earlier lately. So
Jimmy, I think 6 hours is a whole lot different than 2.
Yeah, but you know me, I used to do 8 to 12. I used to do 8 to 12 though. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, Tom when Tom set his live show stream up 2 years ago, hard to believe it's been 2 years. Can you believe that? He helped me kind of get started, and I said, Tom, if there's any problem, I'll back you up. You know, let me learn the ropes of this. And a couple of times within 2 years, there were 2 weekends that he did not have a stream, and I was there to help him out. I was there to step right in and say, okay, I'll go live when you can't go live. And I don't know where we're headed with that, but
what? Sheena says, let me in.
Come in, Sheena.
Let her in.
I see the little picture. All right. Well, we broke the 8
I was sitting there. I'm like, I know you have bad eyes. So I was just like.
No, I saw the little window just pop up. I mean, just now. I was looking right at it.
I've been here for a while.
So it must have been YouTube.
Well, I just saw it pop up. So.
Oh, I just messaged because I was sitting here.
Yeah.
I went to the comments thing. Why can't I comment in there, but I can in the other one?
The last comment I got was from Country Living Household, and it was LOL.
Oh yeah, because I went to go comment, and then I just seen the StreamYard, so I was like, I'll just push it.
Yeah. StreamYard.
I was like, let me go and.
Well, if you see StreamYard, just click the StreamYard. That would be your best.
Yeah, and you can't, but you can't comment in the other comment thing either.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah,
only a host can.
Oh,
host.
Pretty sure, but it won't.
We're talking about your town.
You were talking about my town?
Yeah, the Worcester. What's going on?
Yeah, I tell you, I'm so bummed.
Why?
That's the hot spot.
Because Shane Dog's bud is so good, and I bought this bud, and it's not as good.
Sometimes it's disappointing.
It's like, this is good bud, but it's not as good as Shane Dog's. He's like, I hope that's all right. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Why to talk about Massachusetts is because we were reminiscing about old times, as in back 2 years ago, as me using the Udizzy.
Huh?
I tried so hard to listen too.
I did. I'm with you, dude. All I got is Massachusetts and
That's all I got. I didn't even hear the Udizzy. I just heard Massachusetts.
Udizzy who?
Sorry, Alex. Sorry, man.
I know some people.
Do you know Udizzy?
They tend to go too fast, but I don't realise that I'm actually doing it sometimes. It's because I've been doing it more in my life. So to me, go down, it's like, to me, that's like being a robot, as in me slowing down the speech. But I keep forgetting that people don't just catch because of the accent, because it's quite broad.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, I'm also pretty deaf. You know,
I'm not deaf at all.
But my headphones, my audio is cranked all the way up right now, and my headphones, and you know, that's how deaf I am. You know.
Want to see how much I walked today?
6. Yeah, you probably did 12 miles.
I didn't do 12. I only did 6.4. 6.4.
How many?
6.4.
I'm gonna let you have it, Jimmy, because you said 6 first.
Yeah, he did.
And then you said 12.
He knows how far it is.
Yeah, because it's 6 miles. It's 6 mile round trip for her to go
Mhm.
walk to work and back.
Well, if
And
I
I
had to
thought-
walk 6
and I thought
miles round
being-
trip,
And I was just thinking it being as late as it is, she might have been there twice today.
No, I was there only once. I did just get home though.
You stayed all you just stayed all day.
No, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, she usually goes to like adult daycare. I call it school because
Okay.
it just sounds better, but
Yeah.
adult daycare. So I don't go those mornings unless she has like an appointment or something. And she don't go to school or she's sick.
we call it day school.
Oh, see,
Really?
that sounds so much better. I
It's
don't like
day school.
adult daycare. They don't need watch.
It's not daycare, it's day school. So it's kind of school and it's kind of daycare. Kind of okay. Welcome to North Carolina. I didn't know what that was when I moved here. Day school? I had to ask somebody what day school was.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Sheena, you created a monster with these gummies, you know.
I created a monster with myself with those two. The chocolate bars are worse, Jimmy.
Oh, I bet. I
The
bet.
because
I'm
they're
like-
so delicious.
I'm like,
Speaking of,
how bad can it be to eat the whole jar? You know,
it can't be that bad. How many milligrams is it?
it's like a 100 milligram jar. You know?
Oh, I eat 150 on a daily. Go ahead, you got
Yeah,
this. You're
yeah.
much bigger than I am.
Right.
You got this. Eat it. Nah,
That's just so expensive. Though.
it's so expensive, but it's so good. All of it is expensive, Brie. It's so
I
good
ate
though.
one when I was blacking out in Pizza
Yeah.
Hut.
Where is this? I should put his name in there. I don't even know his real name. I just call him Snoopaloop. Because I was super stoned and I swear to God he looked like Snoop Dogg. And then I seen him when I wasn't stoned. He don't look like Snoop Dogg at all. I met him on 420. He threw a quarter of weed at me. Like we were at a red light.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked over and all I said was happy 420 because it looked like Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that
He's
was the
like,
guy.
oh my God, happy 420. And he threw a freaking thing of weed at me. And then I was like, but I like gummies more. And he's like, I got that too. I got this. I got that. I'm like, I just found my
And
heaven.
he doesn't want money for it? Oh,
Oh,
come
no,
on.
he wants money. He wants money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Nothing is free.
That's like I'm saying. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as
The first
free.
one's free.
Oh, I
Or it's
was
advertised.
scammed
It's a
today.
promotional offer,
I
and
was
then
Yeah.
scammed.
pay for the rest of it. Yeah.
I was scammed by a prostitute today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because usually I leave my cigarettes in my pocket because I fucking hate people asking. But she said she saw me have one in my hand and said, I'll give you $1 for a cigarette. So I'm like, yeah, all right, let's do it. So she's looking and looking for the freaking dollar that she probably didn't have. So I just gave her the fucking cigarette and walked away. She's like, thank you. Yeah, scammer.
You know what? I love to talk about it. The scam of a lifetime is that I was out in front of CVS, and I kind of live in a downtown area. It looks a whole lot like Worcester. There's somebody in a wheelchair, and there's the convenience store right there on the next corner, and it's like, "Sir, can you give me change?" And I said, "Oh, well, sure, yeah." So I gave her 4 quarters, and I said, "Okay, here's $1 and change." And I stand there and look at her. Well, where's my dollar? And she said, "You want me to give you $1? I was asking you for change." It was so pathetic. It was funny. So I just walked away. She asked me for change. I gave her change, but there wasn't anything implied about it.
Right. Yeah. Got
Right.
any change? Got any change? Come on,
Yeah,
spare
I was
change.
honest. I said, "Yeah, I have change."
Yeah.
No, if she'd asked me to give her $1, I would have given her $1, but it was just kind of weird that she said, "Do you have any change?"
Well, she just wanted what you hadn't changed, man. You don't mind tossing
What-
it in.
What if I
Yeah.
told her I had $5 in change? She would have given
She'd have
I would've
taken it.
away $5, right?
But do you know something? When David's saying that, see the people that do that, as in beg in the streets, they've got more money than what we have. As
Oh,
in
they're
when
asking for more money now. They used
they're
to ask
begging
for
the
$1.
streets.
They used to ask for $1. Now they're asking for $5. Hey, do you have $5 for lunch? Like,
Yeah.
whoa, $5.
Yeah. Well,
They used to want bus fare because of bus
yeah.
ride
Well, yeah.
was $1.
Fuck all that.
Yeah, they're getting serious, getting right down to serious. They're
We
wanting
tend to find that
$5.
you do it more in this. We're sort of where I stay. That's sort of like it's like snobby. We call it like my old man used to call it Snobbyville. It still is Snobbyville. But when we go into like the city, as in which is Glasgow, right? There's a lot of street beggars and all that carry on and buskers in that sort of neck of the woods. And when you go down the street, there's no like just one or two of them. There's like 4 or 5 of them, or maybe 8 of them, as in walking all the street.
Yeah,
That's-
you get like a mob. I stay away from those. But I know where in my town, I know where they kind of mob up, kind of group up on you. And I just stay away from those areas. Yeah, I've
Hmm.
seen that happen.
Jimmy,
What?
where's Doris?
That's a good question. Where is she?
Yeah, I was going to ask that earlier.
Brianna just said she's in the basement, tied up and locked up.
Oh, well, I'm in the wrong screen. Let me
No,
get out
she's
of
not
this.
really in the basement, David. Sorry. She's really not.
Oh, okay. Well,
Um,
you know you got me.
I think she's just chilling in her chair.
Well, she's
Yeah.
late.
Yeah,
Poker.
I
I
am.
wasn't looking in the basement.
She's
not
probably
my
sleeping.
She's definitely she's definitely medicated. So
sent David Johnson a link. He
hey,
didn't
man,
reply.
don't be pulling my leg, man.
Just when you say you're going to end this thing, something
Do
happened.
you need that, Alex?
All right.
Why?
No. Do you need that? Is that like yours?
Yep.
You live with that thing? Oh, all right. I didn't know, man.
I said about the kick butt challenge. It's real. It is real. It's no a joke. It did 2 years ago. I got it cut off as an amputation. It's the left leg, the one that I actually the left would go before the right, as in I would walk with the left first and then the right, and it's like that's a fixed one. It doesn't move. That part doesn't move. So it's like as in the way that a foot moves or your leg moves. If I turn round quick, I sort of get stuck and I'm like trying to get as in to move or trying to sort of kick it so it get out a corner if I get in it a tight spot because it doesn't move like round that way. It's just like totally fixed. And I get frustrated. Sometimes, Jimmy, I get frustrated at it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's so angry at it because I'm like, I can't move this properly because they never turn around and says, well, they're going to let you have that one, the fixed one, and then in 2 years' time, we're going to change it and give you one that actually moves fully like your right it does.
Yeah.
You have to get used to it, type of thing.
Aye. Because I've never had a phone call as in from them, as in the prosthetics people. It's sort of
I got a buddy that's got 2 nubs, man. Freaking lost both his legs.
It was when David was talking about people in wheelchairs, and I'm like, some of them actually, when I was thinking about the buskers and the beggars and all that, some of them put it on, some of them actually kid it on. They have got full legs, but they tend to fold them in so it looks as if they've got no legs. and that's what they're hoping that it becomes emotional, that you'll actually physically give them the money, as in there's the spare change. But that's what I'm saying. Some of the beggars and buskers are worth some of them are worth a fortune. There was a story, somebody was telling a story cut a year, I think it was round about last year, about this.
What? You gonna go? I thought you were bringing Doris in.
Who used to play the bagpipes, and somebody was actually talking about him, and they were saying that he's worth over £1 million. He's physically got a mansion, basically a mansion, the guy, but he's like in his 70s, and that's what he used to do, was beg on the street, as in for spare change. But he actually plays, he's quite good with a bagpipe, and that's what he used to go with a bagpipe and play like a drum on a vacuum, and that's what he done. But he was quite good with it. He was a street entertainer, basically a street entertainer, but he was a beggar as well. And the guy is worth a fortune. People were actually, somebody was mentioning him. It came up in a topic or I heard it somewhere, and I was listening to the story, and I was like, oh my God. And that's when I realised, I thought, they're actually worth more than what we're actually worth, as in these people that actually beg on the street. Some of them have got an addiction, but it's hard with an addiction, because I understand an addiction, especially when smoking, because that's what it said that happened with the leg. It was amputation of the leg, because I went to the podiatry. Podiatry checked the big toe, felt it was cold, and says there was something wrong. And they were like, we want to do further tests. But before I got to the further tests, my foot actually got bad. It was like an infection that had set in, and all they were doing was giving me antibiotics. The antibiotics only killed the infection to keeping it to a certain part. It wasn't killing the whole infection off it. So eventually, when I went up to actually get checked out, and they put the blue dye in, they're like, we can't put stents in you. We're going to have to cut. We're going to have to amputate. And I was like, well, how far are you going to amputate? Are you just cutting the foot off? And they're like, no, we've got to cut as in for the foot halfway up. We're going to leave you with at least the kneecap. We're going to leave you with the kneecap or just below the kneecap. Because some of them's actually in the club, as in the FYF, Finding Your Feet, which is Chris Hunton's the founder of Finding Your Feet, as in Scotland. She's got no legs. She's got no arms and no legs. She actually she had septicemia. She wrote a book and all that, Karen. She's done marathons and all that. She's well known, as in Scotland. She's been in Good Morning Breakfast TV. She's been seeing Nicola Sturgeon. She's talking to a whole load of famous people, but the charity is well known now, but it wasn't back then. And I found them through when I went to the hospital for the amputation. But that's what I'm saying. Some of them have got they've got it further up there, like as instead of like half where the kneecap is, some of them's got the full leg, and then they've got a thing that's like a strap that goes up their back. But I was just lucky. But I ended up, when I chucked the cigarettes, that's when the addiction got bad with the coins. And the money that I get, as in the monthly money that I get, that helps subsidise it. That's what started subsidising it, was the money saved for not smoking. So the money for not smoking was lying in the bank. And I was like, oh, why should the bank? So they've got my money invested in the bank, which is like savings. Why they can use it while it's sitting in the bank, but I'm not earning any interest off it. And I was like, well, why shouldn't I be using it? That was the whole idea, was to put something as in another plan, because I was like, well, if they cut my benefits, because they actually did sanction it. They sanctioned it as in last March, as in they sanctioned it and wouldn't give me the money. And they turned around and said, you've only got 4 points because you have to have more than 4 points. You've got to have 12 point. I think it's like 10 points or 12 points and further. So because and I was like, so I started fighting it, Jimmy, because I'm like, well, if I didn't have that prosthetic leg, I wouldn't be able to go anywhere. I was like, so I am disabled. I am classed as disabled. I was like, because when you get the PIP, you get it for the mobility and the care. You get it for two parts here, as in for your care part. There's a part for care, and a part for PIP, for mobility. I was fighting it on the mobility part because I'm like, well, you're telling me that I'm not entitled to it. I'm not entitled to it. You're only giving me 4 points for it. So you're not saying that I'm classed as disabled. And I thought, you haven't took into the equation that I've got a prosthetic leg. So if I didn't have that prosthetic leg, how was I supposed to be able to get around? I can't move. I can't go nowhere. So I'm like a hopping flamingo on one leg. And I've been told by the nurses and the people up top, the people that are professionals, not to do that because it puts pressure on the opposite leg and end up it crumbles away because you're putting more pressure on it. But that was the whole idea, was to put something in a place and plan so that basically I could fall back on that plan. That's why I started doing the coins, was like, well, if I can't get work or I can't get work, because my old man used to say to me, if you can't get work, son, make a job. And that was the whole plan behind it, was to build something to fall back onto in case I ever actually needed it. Because I'm like, well, if the benefits stop, then I'm going to be living on hee-haw. I'm basically going to end up having to beg on the streets. But I end up, because I've got my mum to fall back on, I wouldn't be homeless. Because if you become homeless and you start living in the streets, your authority has then got a duty of care to you, but you have to be able to have proper evidence to say that you've not made yourself intentionally homeless. You have to have evidence for that part. Oh, I understand about homeless. I've been homeless 4 times. I've been homeless 4 times when I had the kids and that. So I know, I've been through it. So I know the laws in it. All about it. And that's what I'm saying. I think because Virgos like that, they have to have a plan in place. They always have to have a plan of action. They can't just, as in, say, right, this is life, this is where I am. They've got to have a backup plan of something so that they have their bit to fall back on in case things happen. Because they don't like to see things happen, especially because I've been in that predicament where end up my ex-partner had to sell her jewellery and all that carry on, and it ends up you're like, see a woman actually take her stuff off and pawn it, it actually breaks a man. You're like in tears because it upsets you, because you're like, they're having to support you, because when years ago, that's exactly what a man's job was, to support his family, to put bread and butter on the table.
Well, I think it's past 8, so I think we ought to wrap it up, I guess. So a great
All right, man.
show for Tom Noble. So we're offline. Thank you for coming, Jimmy.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
Great.